Please welcome Matt Evans. I had a procedure recently to remove skin cancer from the side of my face, and it's made me feel really old. That I really want to tell you all about it. And what makes me feel even older is that I'm not going to fight it. That's exactly what we're going to do. It was cancer, but don't worry, it was like the lamest kind. Basal cell carcinoma is not going to be assigned a ribbon color anytime soon. If they do break down and give it one, I'm thinking like Scotch-Irish white would be good. No celebrities are standing up to basal cell carcinoma. I'm not going to be the beneficiary of like a telethon hosted by Bradley Cooper. My dermatologist and I are going to have to fight this on our own. And based on the aggressive wording of her billing statement, I feel like she's just in it for the money. She's like a paid mercenary in this battle against skin cancer. If the basal cell showed up better funded, she'd be on his side. The procedure wasn't that bad. The worst part about it was that chair that they turned into a surgery table. When they were done, they didn't turn it back into a chair. So to get out of the room, I could either roll off the side, like a sea lion, flopping back into the ocean, complete with what sounds like barking, just, or what I chose, which was to do a sit-up, which I really resented. I didn't want to play an active role in this procedure at all. I brought the cancer and the cash. I wanted them to do everything else. If I'd known there was going to be exercise, I would have worn my yoga pants. I apologize for making y'all picture me in yoga pants. Unless you already wore, and that's on you. The best part of the procedure was this great scar that I got, which I love. Check it out. It makes me look really tough, and I am not. People have asked me earnestly if I've been in a bar fight, and yeah, that is a joke. And I've been in arguments in bars. It's usually over whether the book or the movie is the better version of The Princess Bride. I'm a movie guy. Bring it on. But nobody's brandishing a beer bottle in that argument, unless they're going to do their best impression of Mandy Patinkin. I know I remind y'all of the bald guy in The Princess Bride of a villain, and in spite of what my bald head is telling you, I'm not a bad person, and I can prove it. My wife and I are foster parents. A little bit of applause for foster care. This table's like, we're not clapping. Those kids are on their own. They literally are on their own. Yeah. If you didn't clap, then you're right, because my wife and I aren't that good at it. It turns out an alcoholic and a narcissist don't make the best foster parents. I'm both of those. My wife is great, just not good enough to make up for me. Yeah, I'm pretty disappointed in her too. Our first foster child, I didn't know what to expect. Like, the day I met him, I was like, Jacob, my name is Matt, and when you have a chance to peruse this 28-page document from family court, you'll see that I've been named your guardian. Jacob was 3. This was my big plan. Instead, what happened was I get home, Jacob runs downstairs with his arms wide open, yelling, Daddy. And I'm just, we just met. You don't want to keep things a little more professional? You know I'm being paid to keep you, right? It's in the document. You've got to read stuff before you sign it. Jacob, he came from a pretty tough place, and that was evident in a lot of ways, most obviously because most of his vocabulary was curse words when he came to us. And it's pretty fun to hear a 3-year-old try to work the F word into a sentence. But it's really hard to parent. No, Jacob. It's a verb. Makes a really useful noun. Great adjective. We'd be at HEB and he'd just be spouting out the F word, just incorrectly. I'd be so embarrassed. I wanted to have a t-shirt made that said he's a foster child. I didn't do it. I couldn't figure out which way to make the arrow point. He was always on a different side of me. Really quick kid. At a playground one time, another parent accosted me, and she told me what Jacob had said to her son, and I was flabbergasted. As a noun? That's progress. We've been working on this. But what I wanted to do was to defend myself. I wanted her to know that I was not wholly responsible for Jacob's behavior and just tell her, lady, he's on loan. And I know why I didn't. And it's because Jacob had it right just from day one. The day we met, I was his dad and he was my son. All right, keep it together. But what I don't know is what got into me that I thought that I, who am obviously a terrible person, I know I just told you that I'm not, but I am. Although maybe I'm not as bad as those of you who couldn't even be bothered to clap for foster care. But I don't know what got into me that I thought that I had enough good in me to be Jacob's father. I think my problem is that as a child, I watched Return of the Jedi too many times. I have what my therapist calls Darth Vader syndrome. She doesn't call it that. I don't even have a therapist. I probably should, but I don't. But I do think we all have some Darth Vader syndrome, in spite of what my fictional therapist says. And what I think that means is that we're all broken people, and we're all capable of some pretty horrible things. But I think there is good in all of us, and I think it would be amazing if we took that good and loved each other. And if we took that good and went out and did something fucking awesome. And that, Jacob, is how you correctly use the F word as an adjective. All right, that's it for me.